The bombshell that Tulsi just dropped, right? It involves Russian interference, but maybe not. So releasing declassified Obama-era intel, she says proves that the 2016 Russia collusion narrative was a calculated lie, which, by the way, guys, I thought we knew. But I guess the bombshell here is that Obama already knew that. So according to Gabbard, top officials knew months before the election that Russian interference posed no credible threat, yet they pushed the Steele dossier anyway, igniting a years-long campaign to delegitimize Trump. She's calling it a treasonous conspiracy, and she's urging the DOJ to prosecute Obama-era officials. Lindy?
Yes, actually, since I produced this, she went on Hannity. Can we get the latest clip of her on Hannity?
You can't even keep up. It's bananas.
Yeah, this just happened. She went on and basically regurgitated everything that she said. First of all, I want to start with, I love Tulsi. I think
I do
world of
too,
her.
actually.
I've been friends with her for a decade. She's just a phenomenal person. Wow, this is a bombshell. This is like knocking down one of the pillars of the Democratic establishment. They've been saying for about a decade now that Russia interfered with our elections. And what Tulsi Gabbard is saying is that the evidence wasn't there.
No.
That Obama and his officials arrived at the conclusion first and then fabricated the evidence to support that conclusion.
Oh, I didn't get that piece. They fabricated the evidence?
That's why she's calling for
I'm so sorry. Okay, I totally didn't
I didn't
catch
know
that
about
part.
that either, so I want to know
No,
more.
what I mean,
Like, so what did they fabricate?
It happened last night. That's why.
No, they looked for pieces of evidence to support the conclusion that they already came to. So that's why she's calling for the investigation and prosecution of Obama officials.
So it wasn't fake, it was like cherry picking evidence.
Exactly,
It's cherry
that's what
picked
I mean.
evidence, basically.
Like,
Okay. Not falsified. But you can paint
that
things,
is falsifying,
but when you paint
actually.
things in a certain context, you are falsifying because you're
literally
rewriting the
falsifying
event.
because it's not, it's interpreted in
They
a
took
false light.
pieces of the story to create a fake narrative,
Completely
basically.
fake narrative that wasn't there. And apparently Obama knew this, but still decided to engineer a different outcome.
So look, if it were 2017, I'd be like, this is BS. This didn't happen. I don't trust Tulsi. And by the way, I don't trust Tulsi. I don't trust anyone in government. I always take what they're saying with a lot of skepticism, and I look into it for myself and decide whether or not there's credibility to it. I do believe there's truth to this because it has just recently happened in the context of Romania's elections. Romania just canceled their presidential election, and they claimed that they did it because Russia was interfering with the election. Now, there are the establishment parties, much like the United States, they have establishment parties. And then there was this far-right, Georgescu, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but he's out of left field or out of right field, far-right candidate that they did not expect to win. And so they didn't like the results.
So it was their fail-safe?
So they decided to say, oh, we got to cancel the election because the Kremlin is interfering. Turns out, no, there was no evidence of the Kremlin interfering whatsoever. And what they did was deeply undemocratic. Look, I don't like the candidate that was going to win, okay? But at the same time, you either support democracy and a democratic process or you don't. Yeah. If you go against the will of the people and play these dirty tricks and create a false narrative to justify doing something undemocratic, I mean, it should be called out.
I agree. And she's saying that the manipulation of the facts in this case amounted to a years-long coup. So can we play this clip of...
Why now? Answer that for me after the...
Yeah.
That's...
Speed. With reaction, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she declassified this report yesterday, has many more details. You know, I have this creation of the Russia hoax that you put out on X, that you posted on X, and I'll put it up as you're speaking here. What is amazing to me as I've gone through this cache of documents you've released is they concluded just the opposite. They concluded there was no problem. And then all of it, that was the rank and file. These were career people in the intel community. They gave honest assessments. Then all of a sudden it ends up in the hands of the leadership, the deep state as we call them, and what happened to it? Can you explain what the process and what these documents reveal?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. This is such an important issue, and I just want to start by saying that this is an issue that is important to every single one of us as Americans. This is not a partisan issue. It has to do with the integrity and the strength of our democratic republic. And it lays out this over 100 documents that you're referencing that I released, declassified and released, spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm, President Obama and his senior-most national security cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, and Susan Rice, and others.
Knowing these people, I have no doubt that they would do anything to bring Trump down, which actually, I mean, begs the question earlier. If they had, you know, if Trump were named in the files, they definitely would have leaked it from my perspective. But that's a different, that's a different story.
Not if there's Democrats involved, though. I think there are Democrats on that. I mean, there's no client list, but I think Democrats are implicated.
Definitely mutually assured destruction.
100%,
for sure, I think.
That's a good point. I'm just also very curious about the timing of the release of this information. Just the same week that Trump is imploding over the Epstein stuff.
I'm so glad you said it and not me, because I was going to bring that up. I feel like
this could have happened.
I think
any
everyone
other week,
kind of already knew that the Russia narrative was BS, right? Like, honestly,
it's out there. That's what I'm confused about. The Steele dossier was funded by the Clinton campaign. Russia hoax.
I mean,
there's really nothing that new in what Tulsi's saying. I mean, she has reinforced what everyone already knew.
What's new is that she said the U.S. intelligence community knew
that we didn't need the investigation.
Exactly, that there was no tangible impact on the election. This is the first time we're hearing it. Not only that, they knew under the Obama administration, who actually, he was the one going out there saying that Russia interfered. So he lied to the American people. Let's not forget that this is the president of the United States lying, deceiving the American people on a matter of national security. This is huge.
Well, if a politician is talking, they're probably lying.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what I think is the silence is completely damning from the mainstream media. I haven't heard a single peep other than from Fox News.
And the only reason I knew about it is because Jesse Waters, I was supposed to do something, and Jesse, and then they're like, well, you know, we're going to actually, this just came up. Does she want to comment on that? I'm like, I can't comment on that.
I haven't read up on it yet.
I'm like, no, I'm flying today. But that's the only one that I immediately went on X and sent it to all of you. But this is like a few hours old.
I'm trying to look to see, like, was there some type of a conclusion where they were going to release this information around this time anyways? Like, I'm trying to look up and see, was there some ongoing investigation? Was there a scheduled release?
There wasn't really. My theory also, let's not forget how much she pissed off Trump when she provided a diverging assessment on whether Iran was a threat.
Yeah.
Remember, she went out there, I think it was in March, and she said before Congress that Iran isn't an imminent threat to the United States. And then she had to do a ton of walking back just a few weeks ago. And then Trump had to say, no, she doesn't speak for me. So, you know, there was daylight between them. So I think part of this is also her just trying to, you know, make things right.
Ingratiate herself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a possibility for sure.
I do believe that this woman comes from a good place. Like, knowing her.
She is a really good person. I think she's what she's up against.
Look, at the heart of it, though, I mean, the point remains that there was a false narrative drummed up to discredit the outcome of the 2016 election. You know, and by the way, full disclosure, I totally fell for it and had egg on my face at the time.
I believed it until earlier this year.
I fell for it too.
Yeah.
I was like, he's a Russian asset, and there are prostitutes that are peeing on him, and there's video of it, and that's how they're.
I never believed the prostitute
I
thing.
fully bought it.
But I bought the Russia. They're interfering in our election.
I bought the whole thing. I believed I trusted all the institutions of trust back in 2015.
Absolutely. And the reason why mainstream media hasn't said anything, because then they would have to concede that they were wrong for a decade.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's
better to admit you were wrong and that you were fooled and you apologize to your audience and to your readers than to just...
That's how you regain trust.
That's
like,
exactly
people
right.
appreciate that so much. That's one thing I think people really appreciate about Rogan is, like, he has been wrong on many things, but he always comes out and says, I'm sorry. Imagine if our politicians actually did that. It says here that they are being released now due to purely administrative choices. So this isn't because there was a deadline or anything like that. So the timing of this is so strange. What they're trying to do is send a definitive message that this type of thing can be cooked up. Hoaxes do exist, conspiracies do exist, and they can be used for political leverage. They're trying to make the American people accept that. This is allegedly my theory, because if they accept that, then it's much easier of a jump for them to say, okay, well, maybe the Democrats and Biden and Obama did mess with the Epstein files.
Yeah, maybe they are the ones who
conditioning.
fabricated them.
It's like conditioning the minds of the American people with a story that Republicans are already on his side about. Like you said, there's not really any new information.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much for watching Her Take. If you like the show, can you help us out by subscribing to the channel, clicking the notification button, sharing, commenting, joining the conversation? It helps us out a ton with the algorithm. We appreciate you.